Have you ever been to a trampoline park that has high platforms you can jump into the foam pit from? If you haven't, it's scarier than it sounds. Obviously, I know that the foam pit has enough cushions to brace my fall. However, it doesn't take away from the fact that I'm super high up. I have to gas myself up, take a deep breath, and jump.
But the only way for you to soar is you got to jump. You got to take that gift that's packed away on your back. You got to jump off that cliff and pull that cord. That gift opens up and provides the soar. If you don't ever use it, you're gonna just go to work. And if you're getting up going to work on a job every day that you hate going to, that ain't living, man. You just existed. At one point in time, you ought to see what living's like. But the only way to see what living like, you gotta jump. And here's the problem. Let me just be real with you. When you first jump, let me tell you something. Your parachute will not open right away. You're gonna hit them rocks. You're gonna get some skin tore off on them cliffs. You're gonna get all your clothes tore off. You're gonna get some cuts on you. You're gonna be bleeding pretty bad. But eventually, the parachute has to open. That is a promise of God. That ain't a theory, that's a promise. His promises is true, because listen to me. You cannot name one single thing God has not gotten you through. Name it. And if he ain't got you through it, he currently pulling you through it right now. And the living proof of it is you sitting in here. If he had...
The lesson for me was, why were you scared in your bed the night before? What do you need that fear for? Just don't go. Why are you scared in your bed 16 hours before you jump? Why are you scared in the car? Why could you not enjoy breakfast? What did you need that? The fear is fear of what? You're nowhere even near the airplane. Everything up to the stepping out, there's actually no reason to be scared. It only just ruins your day. You don't have to jump. And then in that moment, all of a sudden, where you should be terrified is the most blissful experience of your life. And God placed the best things in life on the other side of terror. On the other side of your maximum fear are all of the best things in life.
The track that the devil didn't want you to hear is the track called God Is, where you say, okay, what if this thing gets worse? And what if the thing that's keeping me awake at night plays out? Okay, play it out. Go to the next track. That would be so hard that I don't know how I would stand up. But I know that God is a sustainer and a comforter and a keeper and a mender of broken hearts. So if this is the track called Panic and this is the track called Pain, this is the track called Promise. When you get to the promise, that's what's at the bottom, you find out that all this time you've been stuck on a track called What If. There was other stuff that God wanted to do in your life, but you never went down to the bottom and found out that a God was there that would bring you back to the top stronger than you were before you ever went into your fear to begin with.
The beauty of it, at a certain point in my life, I was like, God, what is this? Right? At one point, the puzzle started to make sense. Man, it looks as if I'm gonna be a first-round draft pick. At cornerback, I'm calling my mother, hey mom, I'm going to the NFL, we'll never struggle again. And then I get on the other side of the injury, and it looks as if like, God, what's up? It was as if God was saying, trust me, I got you. And I was like, I get that, God, but let me get the contract, and then I'll trust you. And God was like, no, I got something sweeter for you. It might be a little hard, it might take a little bit longer, but I just need you to trust me. And I'm like, I get that part, but my mother's working at Wendy's. I really want to help my mother. I got a little sister, she's here today. She goes to Tennessee State. Like, I really want to help my mother and my little sister. God was like, no, I got you. And so now when I look at it, I'm like, man, I'm so foolish. Like, God had it planned all along. As soon as I hit campus, God was like, let me get him in discipleship. Let me start preparing him for the battle before the battle even happens. Let me put victory in his spirit and in his mindset, so when the injury happened, his perspective is already shifting. Let me get him prepared for it, so when it happens, he can step back and see the bigger picture.
Said that God had something for me and that my voice needed to be heard, and because I trusted that I had to face my fear and do it anyway. I want to know how bad you want the vision that you came out here for. I want to know how bad you want the thing that you're believing God in. I want to know if you have the hustle required to manifest that thing. Can you hustle for it? Are you willing to communicate for it? You're gonna have to stop pretending like you're too shy to ask for it. No, you're gonna have to start declaring that thing, that I am the next big thing, because my God said that I can do all things through him. And so the impossible is nothing for me. The impossible excites me, because when I know when I'm working in the impossible that God has room to do anything in my life. I want to know if you're willing to put the blood in it. I want to know if you're willing to give up your life for this thing. I want to know if you're willing to give up every misconception that you had about destiny in order to manifest this thing, because it's not going to come easy.
Like your life is a book. You got a bunch of chapters in your book, but when they close that book, how good was the book? How good was your book? What was the ending to your book? If the ending to my book can be so amazing because of all that was done, not the money, all that was accomplished, the first to do, the man that did this, he caused the merger between this. Because of his commitment and growth to this, the communities were then given this.
Don't let doubt and self-centeredness cut you off in the middle of your story. It's okay to feel the doubt. It's okay to think about how you're being affected by this situation, but realize that we are in the middle of the story right now. And you can feel those feelings, but you can't stop there. You can't lose faith. You can't keep circling in this loop of making up stories. You have to get to the next part.
And he walked out, and I could tell he was trying to figure it out. Like, man, why did he say that? And the beauty of it was, when it happened, automatically something popped in my head that said, Inky, remember James chapter 1, when it says, consider it pure joy, my brothers and sisters, when you face trials of any kind, because the testing of your faith produces perseverance, and perseverance must finish this race, so that you may be complete and lacking nothing. So in other words, you got to go through something in order to turn into the individual that God wants you to become.
Perspective is everything, because I found that my initial response to every situation in my life 100% of the time is, how does this affect me? What if I get sick? What about my canceled plans? This is not the way I thought this would go. And then after I do that, I turn it on God, just like the psalmist, and I think I know why. It's easier to blame God than to take responsibility for my own heart and my own attitude. So it's easier for me to say, God, are you hearing me? What about your promises? God, you must be angry with me. But thankfully, the psalmist doesn't stop there, and we won't either.